Welcome to Straight from the Muzzle, folks, where we're anything but straight. My name is Space.
And my name is Bix.
And we welcome you to our show, which is about what today?
Today is Fangasms Fall Edition. My favorite.
I think it's Summer Edition
into fall. Would it count as Summer Edition?
Did we the last one we did? I think the last one we did was spring.
Was it?
I don't know. We'll figure it out. It's what we do.
Summer, fall Fangasms?
Yeah. Summer, fall.
Summer, fall.
So a fummer or a sol. It's one of those. Anyways, before we get into our emails, which we have lots of and lots of fun ones, we do want to take a moment to address a recent change within our team. We've made the decision to part ways with one of our hosts, Ruby. This was a unanimous decision made after careful consideration and discussions among our staff. While there have been rumors suggesting it stemmed from a single disagreement, the truth is the decision was based on ongoing concerns and interactions over time. Ultimately, we felt it was in our best interest of our team and the show to move on forward without her. Out of respect for everyone involved, we will not be sharing any private conversations or details regarding this matter. However, if you have questions, you are more than welcome to reach out to us at talktothemuzzle@gmail.com, and we will do our best to respond.
Beautifully said.
All right, moving on.
Did you know that if you search up Fangasms, the AI overview is like, Fangasms are found on podcasts like Straight from the Muzzle.
Because I like to think that we coined the phrase.
I checked that too, actually. Hold on, it's loading again. The word fangasm is a portmanteau of fan and orgasm, but its origin is strongly associated from the work of two professors and unrepentant fangirls, Dr. Lynn Zubernis and the late Dr. Catherine Larson.
Oh my God. Okay,
Larson and Zubernis are credited with coining. What?
Think of the concept. It's a professor and fangirls.
Two doctors, two professors, and they call themselves unrepentant fangirls.
Yeah, it's a joke in itself because, professors screw their girl interns or whatever.
No, they're two women. They're two women.
Oh, never mind.
No.
Shit.
No. Okay. No, the professors are Dr. Lynn Zubernis, a female, and Dr. Catherine Larson, also a female who also recently died, apparently.
I don't know why I didn't pick up on that. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so it says Larson and Zubernis are credited with coining and popularizing the term in their 2013 book, Fangasm, Supernatural Fangirls. The book, which explored the world of fandom, particularly the fans of the TV series Supernatural, helped formalize the world in fan culture and academic circles.
Didn't know that, but now I do. Yes. So maybe I'll change how I say it. Maybe I'll call them Fangasms.
No, I like Fangasm because as far as I can tell,
no one really uses it.
Nobody really uses it. No, nobody really uses it. Probably why it brings our podcast up when you search up Fangasms.
Yeah, it's a great icebreaker because people are like, what the hell is a fangasm? So there you go. There's the origin story.
Yep.
I just got bored calling them fan emails. So I was trying to figure out what's the best way to combine an orgasm, which is amazing, and then fan emails. And I just put them two together. And that's generally what I do when I'm coming up with names.
It also could be used as almost like a verb, like I'm having a fangasm, right? Someone might feel a fangasm at a convention, like a feeling, I guess.
Yeah, so I can see that.
Now, nobody's going to call it that, except for us. We'll call it that. We'll call it whatever you like.
My God, we should make a clone or like a spray called Fangasms where we can how do I say this? Oh, I had it perfectly in my mind and now I can't think of it. You can have the Fangasm all over you. It squirts out, or it could be like a lotion, or whatever. Anyways, the rules for Fangasms is always as is here. If we can't identify the user or the furry who sent in the email, we call them Furry X. So there you go.
Yes.
So, now I'm all flustered.
I'm going through these because
I'm so flustered with the Fangasm lotion. Let us Fangasm all over you. Okay. Are we ready to go?
Almost, I believe. Hold on, I have to do one thing really quick. Not one thing really quick. I gotta check in with staff really quick. Hold on.
Come on.
There we go. Okay, we'll wait to read that specific email.
All right. So, no, don't. Sorry, I slammed the desk a little too hard, and then my VR headset started to slide off its stand.
Oh, fair.
Okay. All right. So my first email comes from Furry X, and it just says this. 20-something guy exploring the fandom here. Would like to chat and connect if y'all can spare some time. I really appreciate what you're all doing. I gotta say, the first sentence reads like a personal ad.
It really does.
It really does. It really does. But yeah, we can definitely get you connected. We've got a Telegram chat group. You can follow us on our Blue Sky and our Twitter. I refuse to call it X. It's Twitter.
It is. No,
It is.
I gotta. Do you have an Apple phone by chance?
No.
Dang it. So on the Apple phone, we have this app called Shortcuts. And basically, you can set up miniature programs to do certain things. But the big thing is you can turn those programs into icons on your home screen. And then all you do is just tap it and it runs the program, right? Huh. You can customize what the icon on your home screen looks like and what it is called. So I created a little program called Open Twitter, and all it does is open the X app, but I was able to put it on my home screen and customize it with the Twitter logo and call it Twitter. So it's just Twitter on my phone still.
Yeah, I mean,
and then I don't have X in my home screen. It's kind of complicated, but I did it out of spite.
I just don't like the X. It makes it sound like a sex club.
I don't know if you heard the stories, but when Elon Musk was trying to name it X, he wanted to change it to xxx.com or something. And then there was a porn website that already had that, and so he couldn't do it. And then I can't remember if he tried to like buy them or sue them or something. Something happened, but he didn't end up getting the name. Or no, that's what it was. He wanted to call the videos on Twitter. He wanted to call them X videos.
Oh no! That's a porn site.
Exactly. That's what it was. He wanted to call them X videos, and the porn site was like, absolutely not. Do not do that.
Elon Musk. Okay, in my opinion, this is a side tangent. Brain-wise, genius, brilliant. Personality and socialize-wise, stupid.
Yeah, yeah.
He does not think things through.
He lacks the social skills of most billionaires, so...
It's like his brain power runs faster than his actual, ability to speak and type things out.
Now, when he's doing, an interview, I think he can do pretty well in interviews, I think, but...
I think I'd rather watch an interview with Elon Musk than watch an interview with Zuckerberg, because Zuckerberg always looks like a frightened teenage child.
He looks like he's a reptile.
He does. And he only has one look too, but he's in court. And I'm like, oh man.
He's so deadpan. Actually, no, he looks like the most average guy. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. One thing that I saw this AI generated image of a homeless Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh my God.
And he looked infinitely more human in a raggedy attire with kind of dirt and stuff on his face than same haircut. He didn't have a beard in the photo, right? It was just his face, his body, and just raggedy clothes in a kind of run down environment. And it made him look so much more human.
And it's just the way he talks too. He's so robotic. It's so unnerving to watch. But kudos to Zuckerberg, because he actually goes to court representing his company. So, I mean, that's pretty good, because some people just send their other people to do it for them.
Yeah. All right.
It's here. Unnerving.
Take a look at this. This is what I was talking about. And it's just so funny to me.
Oh, man. He looks more decent in this one.
Exactly, right? He looks more human in that than he does anywhere else.
So ridiculous. That makes me want to feel bad for him now. Anyways, let's move on to our next email.
I'm sorry. We went way off on that one.
We did.
Okay, so the next email is from Snow. It reads, sorry.
Hi, everyone. This is Rim. Bix accidentally started reading the wrong email, so he had me pickle out his first take. And for those of you who don't know, the hosts use the word pickle as a cue word for any part they want the editors to take out. But going into take 2, there was something unexpectedly hilarious that I just had to keep in.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Pickle. What?
That was so perfect.
Getting that from Roku.
That's not what I asked.
Shut up.
Roku.
No, stop it. Okay, hold on. I'm going to unplug her.
This is so perfect.
Could you hear her over the thing?
Yeah, I could.
Okay. What's funny is she has sat by my desk, or she sat on my desk next to my computer for every recording we've ever done, and that is the first time that has ever happened.
It's so weird.
That is weird. Okay. So our next email is from Snow, and it reads, "Hey, straight from the muzzle staff. Snow here. Love the work y'all do on the podcast and been listening to it every day. Just got done with the cheese episode and started thinking, would y'all be interested in having a first responder furry on the podcast? I'm a volunteer firefighter for a local fire department and even have the nickname the Fire Fur. Plus, any plans to talk about Therians on the podcast, as I am a fur and a Therian. Much love, Snow."
Oh, so this email came before the Therian episode.
I believe so. When did the Therian episode come out? Was that late July?
Definitely after June, that's for sure.
Okay.
That's when this email was signed.
We let y'all's emails pile up over the season.
do.
And we read them at the end.
It came
of
out
the season.
September 14th.
Oh, it did? Really?
Yeah.
That recently.
Yeah,
Oh. When did Fangasms Spring come out?
probably a long time ago.
It came out in June, didn't it? Or did we do that in May?
So Bix has this like memory thing going on.
I'm tired. I'm very tired. It's been a long day.
Before we started recording, he's like, I could have sworn we've done an episode like this before.
I thought we did do I could have sworn we had done a first responder episode.
I think I've talked about first responders inside like tangents, but we've never actually done a physical like first responders type episode, which I think would be cool because I know of some first responders here in Utah that are furry as well. And every time I get to see them, I always like to catch up and see what's been going on and stuff because ambulance stories are the best.
Some of them are great. I've heard some really crazy ones.
Oh man, the pictures that come with them. Oh,
right. When I was working in food service, this isn't an ambulance story, but just a medical story. I had somebody come to my drive-thru, and while I'm like ringing him up, he's like, "Hey, you want to hear a cool fun fact about me?" I was kind of like tired and stuff, and you got to humor the customer, so I was like, "Yeah, sure," not really meaning it. And he says, "I was pronounced dead for 18 minutes and 37 seconds." Huh?
What?
I got mugged. He's like, I got mugged in an alley, stabbed 4 times, was pronounced dead on the scene, and they revived me in the ambulance.
What the fuck?
He then proceeded to show me crime scene photos of his body in the alleyway.
Oh my God, I think I remember you telling me this story.
Did I?
But
I tell you this story?
I don't think we recorded it though. And if we did, if you're the listener and you listened to all the episodes, let us know which one it was.
I'd like to buzz in for the answer to that, please. They actually did record Bix sharing this story, but it never got published. It was yet another pickle from the previous Fangasms episode from May of this year. And lucky for you folks, I actually didn't get rid of it.
He ended up having, because they had already like signed a death certificate and everything, so it took him like 2 months to get that thrown out and pronounced alive again.
Oh my God.
And so he's like,
Well,
I just
hey.
won the legal battle pronouncing myself alive.
And that was a part of the story that Bix only mentioned in that particular blooper. All right, now back to today's episode.
I don't remember if I've ever
I've
told
heard you tell me this story before, but
I probably did, because it has always stuck with me, and that the image is burned in my brain, but it's like, holy crap. I mean, no, how many people can say that they have pictures of their dead body on their phone
that's so weird.
and are still alive to tell the tale?
It's just an odd way to like say it to someone through a speaker at a drive-thru.
No, well, he was at my window, and I was
Oh,
I was
okay.
doing his card, or I was counting his change, I think, while he told me this, because he paid in cash. But yeah,
That's wild.
it was so crazy.
So yeah, I think I like the idea. I've written it down. I usually write down ideas in my own saved messages, like chat in Telegram, and then I'll also put them in the staff chat as well, just in case I need to reference back to them. But that is definitely something we should go for.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks for emailing. That sounded really bitchy. I'm sorry. I'm from the valley.
I'm just Valley girl. Just a Valley girl.
I gotta figure out who this person
I
is.
can't stand that accent, but apparently I just naturally have it.
Okay, so our next email comes from, so technically they didn't give us a name, but they did give us their YouTube channel. So we're just going to refer to them as their YouTube channel, which is Sir Milkman. Such an interesting name.
Hey, I've heard weirder.
That's true. I have as well. Hello, I just found you goobers on Spotify, and I love to listen while at work. I wanted to ask, what is your favorite, coolest hobby to do or watch? I got into airsoft 2 years ago and started making videos, which has been a lot of fun. And then they give their YouTube channel. Shameless
Milkman.
plug. Yes, Sir Milkman. Anyways, thanks for the podcast, and I'd love to be on as a guest sometime. Here's some of my art. So we'll definitely share this art on a document for you all to see.
To clarify, they did not make this art. This is art they have gotten of their character.
Right. Oh, so like something they've commissioned.
Yeah. Here is some art of my character. Not here is my art. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just to be clear for any artists out there. So we'll check out the YouTube channel. We'll definitely plug that into our description so everyone can see it. And then I guess their question is what is your favorite or coolest hobby? Oh, that's a good question.
So this is what I was doing earlier when I wasn't ready to start reading emails. I went and I asked the staff chat and I got Kyra and Paradox to answer. I haven't heard back from anybody else, but I got Kyra and Paradox and then the two of us.
I thought you were undressing.
No, that was that was before we started recording.
Oh, okay.
Shh, they're not supposed to know about it.
It's okay. All right, go for it.
Okay, so what is your favorite hobby? Kyra said, I've been collecting Pokemon cards for a long time. So that's what Kyra does. Kyra collects Pokemon cards.
I had no idea. That is so off of what I knew about her. So that's
really?
new. Yeah, I had no idea. She's never mentioned it.
I guess she definitely doesn't strike me as the Pokemon type, but
no.
At the same time, she does. She absolutely does. It's kind of a mixed bag. I don't know. Paradox said, I find great enjoyment in watching people do bushcraft, the art of making survival things. I think those videos are cool. As long as it's not the ones that are like the two tribal men in the forest building like this mansion out of dirt.
Oh my God, those videos are awesome though.
They're awesome, but they're so fake.
Well, every time I go and get a pedicure done, they always have up this YouTube channel, and it's a group of like, I can't tell if they're kids or if they're, young adults or in their 20s or something, but it's definitely from Thailand, and they kind of just show like how they go fishing in the wild and all this stuff, and it's really interesting. I've actually kind of started watching videos like that now because I'm like, this is interesting.
Fair
I
enough.
used to watch the survival guys, but I don't watch them anymore.
Yeah. And then Paradox also said, as for something I collect myself, Zoids, like from New Century Zero and anime. No idea what that is, but I'm imagining it's kind of like Gundam.
I'm going to look up Zoids. It is. It's a lot like Gundam.
Okay, that's what I figured.
I want to say it's like off-brand Gundam.
Maybe not off-brand, or maybe it is off-brand. I have no idea. I'm not the one looking it up.
It's like if Gundam and Power Rangers plus Transformers got together, this was what it would be.
All right, hold on. Now I need to look it up.
It kind of reminds me of the weird Connects or the Lego, like under the water, like creature thing that they came up with. I can't remember what that one's called. Like Lego action figures.
It looks like Voltron.
Yeah.
But they don't combine, I guess.
What are these called? Oh, it's going to drive me nuts now.
No, they literally look like the Lions of Voltron, but
no,
I guess they don't. Oh.
Looking for the Lego creatures.
Oh, Technic?
Technic. Yeah, there you go. That's what I was thinking of.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do kind of look like that.
Hey, what do you like to...
I was going to ask you to go first.
Oh, I can do it. So I do a lot of hobbies and crafts or things, but my most favorite is gifting or gift wrapping. I know that sounds really weird, but trust me. When I get someone a gift, I go all out. I know what it is that they want. I design the gift wrap to match what the gift is. I do all the bows, everything that matches that person. It is that. And so I've done it for like a couple of years, and I've had coworkers say, you really need to start a business and do it. I'm like, but then if it's a business, I don't want to do it.
That's fair.
Like a $20 gift ends up being like a $40 wrap job. But I love it. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people. My mom's kind of like that, and she's like, it's therapeutic for me. She goes all out on rapping, and then gets after me when my rapping is not great because it's never great.
It's something I developed during COVID-19.
That's fair.
I did it because it was such a depressing time, especially at work. I mean, working in a hospital during COVID-19 was just the absolute worst.
Oh, absolutely.
So
It was depressing.
what I did is I created this thing where I would go all out for people's birthdays and I would send them to like a different hospital like St. George or Logan Regional or something like that to the medical records person who had a birthday. And it kind of caught on and I just kept doing it from there on out.
Nice.
Yeah.
I just stayed in my room during COVID. I was barely a freshman in high school. Actually, I think COVID is when I first discovered Straight from the Muzzle.
I wouldn't be surprised. Everyone was indoors.
No, it was 2021 because my parents grounded me in 2020, and so I didn't have like any access to the internet for all of COVID.
Well, technically, COVID was still in 2021.
Well, by the end of 2020 in Idaho, everybody had just they were done with it. We were done with quarantine by like September. We all went back to school in September and they made us wear masks for like the first part of the school year. But by about halfway through the school year, they just didn't care. And so we stopped wearing masks, stopped doing all that. And it's like there's maybe 2 or 3 cases in our area every couple months. So it wasn't a huge deal, I guess. I don't know. It's a very conservative area. So
it's Idaho.
Exactly.
So what is your hobby?
My hobby? I draw a lot. Well, I say a lot. I have been burnt out for so long. It's been awful. But that is, I consider to be my primary hobby. That's what I've developed my skill doing for many, many years. This year, I've gotten into cars a lot. I guess I was kind of into cars, but now it's like I can rebuild an engine. My partner's a mechanic, so he's actually in the other room rebuilding the engine for his car. I've started doing street racing and a bunch of other stuff, going to meets and autocross events and going to races. So that's what I do.
That's cool, actually.
It's a lot of fun. We were actually up in Utah, what was it, 2 weeks ago for a race?
And you didn't tell me?
Okay.
I'm kidding.
So we were there. We stopped by the race. Originally, we were going to be spending like a whole week in Utah for the race. And then my grandpa died like the week before. So it ended up being, we went to the race for like a few hours and then we went up and were with my family for the rest of the time.
That makes sense.
So otherwise, we would have absolutely come and said hi.
I'm also going to plug in a few additional responses from the staff that got sent in after the recording finished. So Sparrow said, I like camping and taking care of my pet snakes and invertebrates. Crow says, I really like to 3D print. I'm just now able to get back to it after a while. And some of my hobbies, I really like cooking and baking. And anytime there's a chance for me to do chocolate taste testing, I am all for that. I'm also a big fan of Pokemon, just like Kira mentioned earlier. I don't collect a lot of physical trading cards, but I do have the Pokemon TCG Pocket game on mobile. And so I'm collecting cards on there every single day.
All right, so our next email is from Onyx, and it reads, hey, this is Onyx, and I was wondering if you had gotten my earlier emails. I would like to just talk to another furry who has been part of the fandom for quite a bit more than I have, and ask how you came up with your persona and stuff. I would appreciate an answer. Sincerely, Onyx. Yes, so Onyx, I feel like we probably answered your emails in the form of another Fangasms, and this email was sent in July, which was shortly after we had released Spring Fangasms. So I'm wondering if maybe we answered the emails in Spring Fangasms and he had just not heard it yet. But he did ask how we came up with the persona, so I will happily answer that here. Onyx, I'm sorry if we did not get to your emails, but we will respond here, and then we will also send you an email back. So, Space, how did you come up with your persona?
I mean, my persona kind of developed over time. It was a transition. So it started off as Space Dog Spiff.
I remember this.
I based the character off of my favorite comic character, Calvin, from Calvin and Hobbes, when he was Spaceman. Yes. So I created that. And then I moved him into like a husky wolf. And then from there, I moved him into like a bear wolf, I think, or a bear husky. And now he's just full on polar bear. He's a polar bear who's never been to the Arctic and doesn't look like a polar bear at all. But he's a polar bear. So
fair enough.
I don't know if I've been in the fandom longer than they have, though, because they didn't specify for how long that they've been in the fandom. I'm just going to assume that I've been in there longer.
I mean, how many years have you been in the fandom space?
Since 2012.
So 13 years?
Sure.
Okay. I mean, I'd assume if they're asking questions about making personas, I'd assume much more recently than 13 years.
Yeah.
I personally joined the fandom back in 2018? How many years is that now? As early 2018, so we're coming up on 8? Yeah, I'm coming up on 8 years in the fandom.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Holy crap. I joined the fandom when I was in middle school. In terms of creating my persona Bix, I would also say it's a process because I went through like 2 different personas before him. And then Bix was a work in progress for many years before I finally settled on the final design that I have now. So originally, when I first joined the fandom, I had a red panda dragon hybrid named Kodiak. And really, he was just a red panda with horns. I don't know. I didn't really use him much before I kind of felt a disconnect from him and started playing around with a bunch of different other designs. And finally, I came up with Bix version 1, which at the time his name was Midway because it was a super big history buff and was kind of obsessing over the Battle of Midway at the time. But I also grew up on Midway Avenue. So I think that also had something to do with it. And then over time, I just kind of like slowly refined him down to what he is now. His name changed like a dozen times. It was Midway, and then I named him Targhee at one point for the Targhee Mountains up in Idaho, or Wyoming, I guess. I called him Bravo at one point. Ardu, which I can't remember if it was like Norwegian or something. Kipo, and then finally I settled on Bix because I was reading a book at the time and the main character's name was Bix, and I really liked that name. And that name stuck. Every other name, it kind of just felt wrong after a few weeks, and Bix has felt right. I've gotten so used to that name that people in my day-to-day life call me Bix instead of my actual name. My boyfriend is behind me verbally confirming this. So that's the complicated story of how I came up with Bix. Over time, when I originally designed him, he was a completely separate entity from who I was. But over time, my personality changed, my preferences changed, and they kind of merged with what I had created in this character. So I know in some of the older episodes, and something you kind of hear in the fandom is a lot of people base their personas off of who they want to become or who they'd rather be more like. And I would definitely say that that's what Bix was. And over time, I became that person that I wanted to be because of Bix. So, yeah.
Sorry, I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm just researching too.
Oh, fair. Long talk. I'm talking a lot. It was a rough kind of thing because a lot of Bix's changes came my freshman year. Freshman year was weird because that's when we went into COVID. We went into COVID at the end of my freshman year. And so a lot of Bix's changes came right during COVID, during lockdown and everything. But yeah. I will make sure to respond to your email, Onyx, just to make sure that you get our response. But yes.
All right. Our next email comes from someone who has previously emailed us before, and we have read their email in the last Fangasms. Their name is Nova Astral, also known as Strodo Protogen. I think I like to call them Strodo the Proto, which is pretty cool.
I very specifically remember, I think it was me who read their email.
Possible, yeah. But let me go ahead and read their email real quick. They say, hey there, straight from the muzzle. I just want to say thank you for reading my email in the last Fangasm. I've done some thinking and writing, and I believe I've created something that could really be the tip of the iceberg for me. I will put a small snippet of it in below, but I just want to say thank you for the advice from the last email. Now the snippet, please enjoy. So the snippet is I think it's a snippet of a story that they're writing. It's long, and I'm recording this at night, so I'm going to opt out to not read the whole thing, but I will include the snippet in the document for you guys all to see.
I was going to say, I think we would not be able to do it justice.
No.
If we read it, but we will make sure that we include it with the description in like a document or something that we link in the description so that everybody can enjoy it and appreciate this story. But yeah, we just definitely wouldn't do it justice if we were reading it out loud on this episode.
They did ask a question. They wanted to know if we've ever seen the Nova Beast fursuit. I know the name Nova Beast. It reminds me of a kimono fursuiter.
So I'm pretty sure Nova Beasts are the VR chat avatars. I mean, I think it's more recent.
It could be, but if you Google it, though, it shows up as fursuit makers or a fursuiter. Yeah. I can't really tell. There's too many links that one sends me to Etsy, another one sends me to TikTok.
Yeah, so if
one
you go...
sends me here, there's no actual website that's for Nova Beast.
If you go to images, I think the Nova Beast was created by somebody named Nova, and so it's just called the Nova Beast. And it's a VR chat model that people are modeling fursuits after now. And I gotta say, the fursuits are really, really pretty. I personally have not seen one, but also haven't been going to cons. I haven't been to a con since the Nova Beast fursuits started coming out because I am broke.
I'm pretty sure I have seen a Nova Beast, not in person, but I have seen it on YouTube. I'm pulling up my YouTube to see where I've seen it because it's from like a specific channel that I watch.
You reckon is it the Freaky Someone on Instagram? Because that's who I recognize. At least the model I'm seeing is the same model that the Instagram user That Freaky Someone uses a lot in their videos.
It's from a channel. I don't know how to say the name. I'm doing the best I can here, though. It's called Dragonelle Escaliri Silverwing. But they feature a lot of, I mean, it's mostly Asian furs, but I'm pretty sure I've seen a Nova Beast fursuit on that channel.
Oh, I see.
Cool. Yeah, so I've never actually seen one in person, but I have seen them online. Pretty cool.
Alrighty. So our next email is from Furry X. That's the actual name that they put at the end of their email is Furry X.
That's awesome.
And their email says, "Hey y'all, I hope you're doing well. Hopefully this comes out in time for summer Fangasms, but if not, that's okay."
It did.
It did. Congratulations. Yay. I'm fairly new to the fandom. I've known about furry since high school and was originally in anti-furry. My sincerest apologies. However, since discovering how hot scalies can be...
You can do it. You can do it.
Thank you, Wasp Salad. I've come to realize I am one of y'all. For questions, I just have one. I'm having a hard time with how to let my partner know. We've been together for 8 years since we were in college, and they know how anti-furry I was. They have an aversion to furries. An old friend of theirs was really, really mean to them and just so happened to be a furry. It's just giving me a lot of anxiety because we normally share what we are passionate about, but I just don't know how to go about it. Any advice? In closing, I haven't been listening long. I really appreciate the effort put into these podcasts and the overwhelming positive vibes you put out into the community. I'm excited to see what you guys do next. Furry X.
So before we were recording, I had to read over this a few times just to kind of get the context of it, because the way that they kind of phrased it made it seem like, how do I tell my boyfriend that I'm anti-furry? But then after reading it like a couple more times, I realized what it was that they were asking.
Mm-hmm.
I think the best thing in a relationship is to be honest and have open communication. That is probably one of the biggest faults when people get divorced is they did not communicate. So
this is true.
Tell them. Just tell them. But the worst that could happen is they shrug their shoulders and they go, okay, whatever. Not a big deal.
Here's what I'm going to say. This might be a little unethical, but just because you're attracted to it doesn't necessarily mean you have to identify as a furry. Furry is a choice. Furry is not something that you just are. It's something that you choose to identify as, right? There's a lot of people who like anthropomorphic art who are not furries. So
it's like when people are like, I'm coming out as furry. And I'm like, that's not a thing.
It's not. It's really not a thing. Because coming out is, yeah. I think we've talked about that in the past.
We've talked about that in the past. You can look that up.
Furry is a hobby. It's not necessarily an identity. Now, in some aspects, maybe it is an identity, but for the most part, it's a hobby. And whether you're a furry or not is entirely up to you. So maybe your partner does have an aversion to furries and you appreciate the art and you like it. Doesn't necessarily mean that you are or have to be a furry, you know? If you want to be a furry, then I agree with Space. I just agree with Space in general. Maybe talk to your partner about this and say, hey, I'm struggling with talking to you about this, but in the end, it's going to be better that you talk to them than keep it from them. So yeah, I just wanted to remind everybody that you don't have to be a furry just because you like the art. That's my 2 cents.
All right. Our next email comes from Furry X. Oh, we got a lot of Furry X's today. Many. So this one's interesting because the title says strange question, but clarifying question for the Therian episode. So that kind of sets a precedent as to what this email is about. But reading the email is so difficult because it's not human to read it the way that they wrote it, but there's a reason why. So they say, hello, it does not identify as a human, yet it does not identify as an animal either. it identifies as a robot, and it is confused if it can identify as a Therian or not. God, I feel like I'm reading a tongue twister here. It feels dysphoria that its body is flesh and nerve instead of metal and wire, yet it does not identify with something living. Is it still Therian or something else? It apologizes if this is too long to be included for the episode. As a robot, it feels excluded in the Therian community and hopes to clarify if it belongs in the Therian community or it needs to find another community. It's interesting that they keep referring to themselves as it and not I. So the email is not possessive.
I was going to say, it could be maybe asking for a friend. I don't know. I don't judge. But I did look into this a bit.
Yeah, because we were both kind of confused.
We were both a little bit confused, so I did a little research. Space, would you like me to explain it, or would you like to?
Go for it.
Okay, so here's the best way to describe it. Therians are usually identify as animals, earthly, non-human animals. Wolves, cats, birds, it's tied to a real world animal, tied to real world animal instincts, behaviors, or even spiritual identity. I think the community that this individual is looking for would be considered otherkin. Otherkin is a broader category, and it includes things beyond earthly animals. So people who identify as like dragons or elves, angels, or robots, or even concepts sometimes. So that is, from my research, I would say this individual is probably looking for the otherkin community, which also is sometimes called the alter human community. Now, for anybody who has questions, otherkin is an umbrella term for anyone who identifies as something other than human on a spiritual, psychological, or intrinsic level. And Therians are a specific type of otherkin, those who identify as real-world non-human animals. That's from what I found. I've also found that it is a highly debated topic. So
wouldn't a non-human animal just be an animal?
I don't know why the article says it like this, but to break it down, all Therians are otherkin, but not all otherkin are Therians.
It's like the weird debate where some Hispanics identify as Mexican, but not all Mexicans identify as Hispanics. And it's like, I think we went over that particular thing with Joshua when we were doing the Hispanic furries episode because it was so confusing.
Yeah, something like that. But yes, identifying as a robot would make you an otherkin or alter human, and you would look for the otherkin and alter human communities, but it wouldn't make you a Therian since it's not connected to a real world earthly animal. So yes,
there you go.
That answers that. Check out the otherkin community. That's where you want.
Check out the otherkin.
Yes. Otherkin or alter human.
All right, let's move on to the next one.
Okay. I have been particularly excited to read this email. So this email is from Percival Wimbledon. It says, "Hello, I'm a 49-year-old furry who is new to the fandom, and I'd love to hear an episode on gray muzzles. To be honest, I sometimes worry I might be too old to fully participate. Most of the people I see who are active in the community seem much younger, and I don't want to feel out of place or like I don't belong. I've thought about buying a partial fursuit and going to cons or local meetups, but my concern about age has held me back. None of my friends are furries, and when I've mentioned the idea of going to a furry club night, the reaction has been mostly polite ambivalence." Sorry, I had to think about how that word was pronounced. I'd really appreciate hearing from other gray muzzles about their experiences, how they navigate the fandom, make friends, and what role they feel older members play in the community today. I think this perspective could be both reassuring for people like me and maybe even valuable for younger fans to understand how the fandom supports and celebrates all ages. Thanks so much for considering this idea and for the work you already do bringing different voices forward. Love the show, Percival Wimbledon. Okay, Space thoughts?
Yes, I was going to ask if I could go first.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so there is a group on Facebook called Gray Muzzles for 30 and older furs only, which I'm in.
How old are you, Space?
38, turning 39 in a couple of months.
Very nice.
Yeah. I don't feel 38. I feel like I'm still like 21.
Fair.
Yeah, I've got that energy. There's about 5,000 members in there. It's active. People are posting all the time. It's a really welcoming community. I believe it's ran by a gentleman named Grubs Grizzly, who also, maybe I don't want to speak out of turn on that, but I'm thinking it's run by him. He's the same guy that does the Good Furry Awards, which we were nominated for. but we didn't win. But we were nominated, and I'll take that as a win.
I will absolutely take that as a win.
So it's an active group. Everyone loves each other. I've never seen an issue come up in it. So there's my 2 cents worth for a group if you're looking for it on Facebook. And I can definitely also send you a link to it as well. As far as how people maybe could perceive us in the fandom, I think what other people, we got to look at it this way. The fandom is getting younger and younger and younger. There are probably more younger furries now than there were when we first started doing podcasting. So we could be considered as guides, or the other unfortunate thing is we're old and we shouldn't be in the fandom, which if that's the case, screw you. Not the reader, but
I don't like that opinion.
I don't like that opinion.
Like that idea. No.
I think it's ridiculous. Honestly, for me, I think the older they
I've
are,
heard that
the
from a
sweeter
lot
the
of young
juice.
furries. I've heard that from a lot of young furries on like TikTok and Instagram and Twitter and stuff. And I'm like, you don't need to shut up.
Well,
Shut up. Go touch grass.
I like a daddy. So I like it when they're a little bit older, a little scruffier, have a beard, I love that. So I think the older you are, the more experienced you are, the more fun it is, because then you get to really enjoy it and not feel as stressed to like engage in every single little thing that comes at you, like most young furries do.
Yeah.
You're not even a gray muzzle. You're like what, 20?
Yeah. No, I never said I was.
Oh, you were really excited for this particular email. And I'm like,
okay, so
for what? Because you're into daddies too?
No. Okay, so I love gray muzzles. Okay, not necessarily in that way, but also in that way. I'm a bit of a fandom history buff, and I love learning about the ins and outs of the fandom and all of its juicy history. I've had several gray muzzle friends, and I have learned so much from them over the years. One of them, he has been in the fandom since its early days. He knew Mark Merlino, one of the founders of the furry fandom. He lived out in California, kind of close to them. I don't remember exactly how he knew them, but he was at Conference Zero, and they just have so much insight into how the fandom has changed and how it's changed for the better, how it's changed for the worse. So much insight on the history, events that happened, turning points for the fandom. I love gray muzzles and just how much wisdom and how much thought they have to bring to the table. And so I love talking to gray muzzles. I'm friends with several. They're just such interesting people to me, and they have so many stories to tell, and I love hearing all of it. So that's why I was really excited. I thought we had a gray muzzles episode, to be completely honest. That was another episode that I thought we did and that we did not have, but I would absolutely love to host this episode. I would love to get a host on and ask them all kinds of questions.
I think we should get Grubs on.
You think so? I mean, we probably could. I am going to ask around, see if I can find some guests for that episode, but I absolutely love the idea. I love gray muzzles, and they play such an important part in our fandom. You are absolutely welcome here. Anybody who says otherwise needs to go touch grass. This fandom was built on the gray muzzles. So, yeah. Anyways, I look forward to that episode. I'm very excited for that. Space
all right.
Return.
Our next email comes from Wolfie the Wolf. This one's actually directed towards me. I haven't gotten an email that's just directed towards me for a while. They say, "Hi, Space. I wrote to you guys back in the springtime about becoming a content creator. I just want to thank you for getting me started. I now have over 800 followers on TikTok.
Woo.
I've also bought a fursuit. You guys have been the podcast I always go to when I feel down. With my ADHD, it makes it hard to find people. And now I've got a boyfriend and more friends than I could ever have. Thanks, Wolfie the Wolf." Super cute.
Looks like it might have accidentally sent a handful of times.
Yeah, it looks like they sent it multiple times. I was like, are these replies or are these like, what is this? So it could have been like a butt dial almost.
Have you ever been like trying to text somebody on Telegram and you click the send button and it doesn't send? And so you click it again and then it sends twice?
It's like a network lag or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering if it was. But
probably what it was.
I remember reading that email. That's so cool. I'm glad you have 800 followers on TikTok.
Congratulations.
Yes. Feel free to.
I have
with the TikTok profile. We'll plug it.
Because I don't use TikTok. I use it to exchange videos between Dear Dog and myself. That's it. Yeah. We send each other the weirdest shit possible. So. Yeah. All right. Next one is yours.
My turn. This email is from Lyris, and it says, "Hi. I became a furry very recently, and before I unfortunately thought furries were weird. Obviously, I don't now, as the 11 anthropomorphic characters I designed would indicate, but I have noticed that there are a lot of stereotypes about the fandom, and most of them are very hurtful. People just misunderstand furries, but I've also been wondering where some of these stereotypes came from. Oh boy, history buff coming out again. And why they are
No.
so widespread. I'm thinking it could be interesting learning about them, especially among young people, as no one young knows how they know about furries. They just somehow do, and they hate them. This is getting a bit on the long side, but since I mentioned some characters, I wanted to show you one. And I opened
It's a Hero Forge.
Ooh, that's cool. I
Yeah,
didn't
it
know you
takes
could
a
do
minute
this in
to
Hero
load,
Forge.
but it's pretty cool.
That is really cool. We'll include the link in the episode notes for everybody. I hope you like it, and I'd love to have this read on the show. Thanks. Well, I like it very much. It is very pretty.
Their color scheme is right about on par with how I design color schemes for my Borderlands characters.
I really like it. It looks great.
Pretty cool.
Okay, so to answer your question, the stereotypes. I'd say the number one stereotype that people usually go back to is that episode, which references the CSI episode on furries, the CSI episode Fur and Loathing, which it's really funny because if you just Google the words that episode, the first thing that comes up is CSI Fur and Loathing.
Oh my God, I get it now. That makes so much sense. There's a podcast, a furry podcast called Fur and Loathing, and I could never figure out why they named themselves that.
Probably because of that show.
Episode.
Anyways, basically, in the episode, they're investigating the death of some female who was in a collision with a semi-truck. In the process, they find another victim, a man in a raccoon fursuit. Their evidence leads them to attend a fictional plushies and furries convention named PAFCon, where they discover there's more going on among the attendees than just dressing up. Now, they very heavily implied, I can't remember if they just flat out said it or just heavily implied that everybody at that con was having sex in the fursuits together.
Yeah, pretty much.
And people don't know where, I don't really know where they got that plot point from. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. What I am saying is it usually happens, at the time this came out, it was largely happening behind closed doors. And so I don't totally know where they got this from, but that was a nationally broadcasted episode. Hundreds of thousands of people saw that when it aired, and hundreds of thousands have seen it since. That is why it's become a very widespread stereotype that furries are all about sex. There's been a couple of other. I mean, it is a very
sexual.
Back to the kind of Grey Muzzles thing. It was a very adult-based community to start, and as we were saying in the Grey Muzzles, it has become younger and younger over the years, and so we've had to pull it back more. But that's also why I think Grey Muzzles are great, is because this is absolutely an adult-based community and was from the start. We have come to accommodate the younger folks who have joined us, but it is still a very adult-centered community. But yes, so that is why the stereotype exists. As for online, and you said no one knows how they know about furries, they just somehow do and they hate them. Furries on a lot of places have just become passive memes, and the meme is that we hate furries, pretty much. Most of the memes have that kind of context surrounding them. So it's just been widely passed around, but it started with that CSI episode.
And the history on that CSI episode is that there were people that they did interview from the furry fandom about the subject, but the reason they went down the sex route is because bad news sells. That's why you see so much bad news in the news, is because that grabs your attention. No one cares about the goody two-shoes of a society. They want to see the dark and nitty-gritty. That's what sells, unfortunately. So whenever you see furries in the news, it's usually something that's negative because that's what sells.
Yeah, you rarely see furries in the news for good things because it doesn't sell.
It's a marketing tactic and it works really well. It sucks, but it does.
They chose that plot because it engaged viewers.
Yeah.
And it got them good ratings. So,
but stereotypes are what you make of them.
Exactly.
People, when I tell people that I'm a furry, if it's a coworker, they look at me and I'm just like, yes, people do have sex in their fursuits, but no, I'm not one of them. And then I go to explain why I love the fandom. I leave it very small. I don't leave it to linger for them to kind of think about it. I give them the tools of what they need to do if they want to research it further, but most of the time, they just don't care.
And if you want to kind of give people resources First Science. I send everybody to First Science that explains it great, and it doesn't focus on the sexual aspects that Google does. So if you want to kind of educate yourself and educate others on what furries actually are and kind of break the stereotype, I always send them to First Science.
All right. Our next email, second to last, comes from, I always want to call them cryopods, but it's actually either Ciro, Cairo,
I'm going to say Zero.
one of those. They say, do any of you guys keep a journal? If so, who and how do they use it? Best regards, Ciropause, the otter dragon hybrid. So the answer for me is yes and no. Yes, because I had a prompt journal where it says, I'm totally awesome because, and that was the name of the journal. And every day you would write, I'm totally awesome because, and you would write why you were awesome. And then what the cool thing was, is on the very bottom of the page, it gave you a grading scale of A plus, A++, and A++++. Never let you go to an F or a C or a D. It always just kept that. And then on the left side of the page, it would give you an inspirational quote. And each day was something different. So I say yes because I used to have it, but I don't use it anymore because I've since lost the journal. And I'm pretty sure I bought another one and I lost that one too. So I've got two of them flying around somewhere in the apartment.
I personally do not keep a journal. I probably should, honestly, but I really struggle with writing. And so I don't usually write things down. And this, I forgot to go and ask the staff on this one. I was supposed to, but yes. Too late. Sorry. I'm very sorry. That was a very insincere sorry. I'm very sorry. I was supposed to, and I forgot. It's been a long day.
The insincerity of that sorry reminds me, it's one of my favorite fail videos is these two ladies stomping in grape buckets, making grape juice.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, wait. And then she goes, she shuffles around and then she falls off and she's like, ooh, 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 oh my God, ooh, ooh, I can't breathe. And then it was a live thing. And so the hosts on the other end, they're like, ooh, ow, I think she's hurt. Ooh. And I'm like, wow, that is so bad looking.
I want to say that it was a sincere sorry and it just did not come out that way. I'm very tired. It's been a long day.
I'm gonna put that video link in the chart too because it's so effing funny.
People who look at the little page before they listen to the episode are gonna be so confused.
It's so random. All right, you've got the last one.
I've got the last email,
which literally came in 6 hours ago.
We got this one today.
Yeah.
All right. This one was also sent twice.
I see that now.
Actually, the ones I've noticed that they've sent more than once always end with sent from my iPhone.
Be a network thing.
I bet it's a network thing from Apple devices. I don't know. I don't send many emails from my iPhone. But I'm betting that's what it is. I've just noticed that. But anyways, so this email is from Howler the Husky, and it reads, Hi guys, my name is Howler the Husky. I've been a furry since 2012, and I just recently stumbled across your guys' podcast, and I've been listening to it for quite a while. And I was wondering if you guys are going to do a segment with the guest, because I would really like to, a segment with a guest, because I'd really like to join and have a conversation with you guys about whatever random things we can come up with. And my wife, she's a furry also. And one of the things I really wanted to talk about was to explain to people that you can find love anywhere, because I met my wife on TikTok. We both have TikTok accounts. She has almost 13,000 followers and I have almost 40,000 followers.
Damn.
That's just me wondering if I could be a guest on your podcast at some point. Thank you guys for reading. As always, keep up with the podcast. They're really enjoyable to listen to. Much love, Howler.
Okay, I have a question for the emailer. How the hell did you get 40,000 followers? I would love to know this story.
I do too. Hold on. I gotta look this up. I gotta look up their account now. Oh, I'll look it up later. My phone's dead.
He doesn't give. All right, I'll pull it up. I'll see. You give your 2 cents worth here.
We'll do TikTok on my computer.
Oh, the Husky. Oh, they're like a VR furry. Okay, that makes sense. They get a lot of follows.
No, I recognize their stuff. I've seen some of their videos. Yeah.
Oh, like
VR. VR is always the answer. But yeah, no, I absolutely recognize their fursuit and their VR chat avatar. Very nice.
Yeah. Oh, there's a video of him walking with his wife. Oh, that's so adorable. Aw.
I love that.
We're definitely advertising that.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're in VR, tell us your VR handle too, because we could also meet up in VR too.
Let's see, we'll drop the link. Let's see, where is his?
I have it. I'm going to save it.
I was gonna say I was
Good.
hoping we could find his. I'll go through the video to see if we can find his wife's too, so we can link that
I found
as
his wife.
well. Oh, you did? Okay, perfect. Sweet. Yeah,
I'm that good.
I would actually love to do one on VR chat first and stuff like that. So maybe we have you on the podcast to talk about that. Maybe we could get. Oh, actually, you know what? We could get a few people to guest host that episode. I know a lot of VR chat furries who could get on. Have you ever heard of Resed Fox?
I have, but I've already reserved the VR chat furries for a special group that started their own group based off of this STMFM friends chat group.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Them, the VR chat group.
They're pretty cool.
I guess I was talking more
could-
about VR chat content creators specifically.
Well, we could do it as a two-parter. We could do one where we talk about it with the group that kind of spawned from our group. And then
Yeah,
part
and
2 could
then
be about content
the-
creators.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, Howler, we will hit you up and let you know on that front.
But kudos to you. Good job.
I know, right?
Alrighty. Well, that was the last of our emails. Quite a lot. Actually, I mean, we usually get a lot anyways.
Yeah, usually it's about, I want to say like 10 to 20, usually every Fangasms, which is, I think, a healthy amount.
Yeah. And you guys know when you email us, you know that we're going to talk about it on an episode. So, I mean, like,
If you
we've
don't
said
want us to,
before,
You can say if you don't want us to, you can
Just
request
say
that we don't read it on the episode.
we've
and
had
we will
people do
not.
that before.
Or you can request that we do read it on the episode.
And if you don't want to be known, just say Furry X, which a few have done that. So, pretty cool.
Yes.
But yeah, those are all the emails. As you guys know, you can always send us an email at talktothemuzzle@gmail.com. It's always in the description down below.
We love hearing from you guys.
Yes. You can also find us on Blue Sky and on Twitter, though we mostly just post our episodes on those sites. But we're going to get better at this. We're going to be more active and engaging into our social accounts like we used to in the past. So
Yes.
things to come. We are making some changes about how we do things. And we're also going back to the roots or the reason why I started. We used to be known as For Media and then since rolled into Straight from the Muzzle. So I have some ideas of how to roll forward, I guess you could say.
And I'm sure we'll probably make another announcement talking about what that entails and all that stuff.
Exactly. And they're not going to just be my ideas. They're going to be ideas from the whole staff. So
And you are also, as the listeners, welcome to submit your own ideas. As you've heard on this episode, we've had several ideas, and we do seriously consider these episodes.
yeah, we do. We put them in a list and then we go over that list when we want to write up some ideas for upcoming episodes and stuff. Anyways, Thanks for listening.
Thank you all for submitting your emails.
Any last words before I push you off the plank?
Oh, that was great.
I'm not going to let you jump. I'm going to push you.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Nothing from me. Just thank you everybody for emailing in. I look forward to the Fangasms episodes every time we do them. I love reading everybody's emails and hearing everybody's thoughts and opinions and requests, and also giving my insights on people's questions. So thank you all. And yeah, that's it from me.
And you can look forward to the Halloween special, which will be coming out on Halloween.
Yes.
Yes. All right, folks. Have a great morning, day, night, wherever you come from or what time it is when you're listening to this. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.